The paintings were in reasonably good condition, but because of their history, they'd been both detached from the walls and then treated by the contemporary restorers and then mounted in large gold frames. Their context was lost, and they became slightly meaningless. The actual physical condition wasn't too bad on our initial assessment. When we looked closer, however, we found that there was discoloration, flaking, many more things that we needed to deal with than we'd initially anticipated. There were a number of options for how we could treat the paintings, ranging from leaving them in their big Victorian gold frames where they looked like easel paintings to completely removing all of the Victorian plaster and presenting them as fragments of archaeology on the walls. We decided to go for a middle way where we retained a lot of the Victorian retouching and repairs, but presented them without the frames, so you could still see that they were part of a building. As far as the techniques go, we were consolidating and re-adhering flaking paint, cleaning the surface to reduce the amount of residues, which gave a very dull and muted appearance, and eventually applying a fine protective varnish. It's always really difficult when you're dealing with a detached wall painting because when we investigated, we found that the surviving painting was only 3 to 4 millimeters thick, and that really limits what you can do with it in technical terms. So we had to make decisions about what we were trying to show. Were we trying to show archaeology or works of art or bits of a house that's disappeared? How we could present it and conserve it and stabilize it. And then we had to look at it in Leighton House. How can we show this on these walls, these raw brick walls, and tell the story that we are trying to explain? And in terms of conservation, the treatment was delicate. It had to be handled very carefully because the paintings are so sensitive, but it was not controversial.